Happy July 4th, everyone. What's going on? Welcome into the Cam Rogers Show. I am not Cam Rogers. I am Harris Rubenstein. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTeam, taking over for Cam this week while he enjoys vacation on a nice beach somewhere. But it's July 4th, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're grilling. I hope you're drinking. I hope you're launching off some fireworks, but probably better than Jason Pierre-Paul so you can keep most of your fingers. Let's go over what we're talking about today on this Independence Day. We're starting off with some NBA rumors from across the association. We got Lakers rumors as well. Huge segment today, NBA Power Rankings, post-free agency edition. We're going to be talking 1 through 30 and what my favorites are for the title. And then we're going to end it with some LeBron James rumors and go through what's going on in the world of the King. But I want to know from you guys, how are you celebrating Independence Day? Are you grilling? Are you doing a movie marathon? Are you by a pool? Are you by a beach? What are you doing today to celebrate the best country in the world? I am here doing the Cam Rogers Show, talking a little NBA. That is how I will enjoy spending my Independence Day. But let me know in the comments section what you guys are doing to celebrate our wonderful country. All right, let's get into our NBA rumors. We start with Devin Booker, and hey, not many more things more American than getting offered a $158 million deal to play a sport. Now, Devin Booker, obviously one of the better players in the NBA. He's averaged 22 plus points per game over the last 2 seasons at only 21 years old. I mean, we've never really seen a guy of his age be able to score at such an elite rate at such a young part of his life. He's 21 years old, and I think you can make an argument that he's already one of the top 5 shooting guards in the entire NBA. We don't really need to talk up Devin Booker. I mean, the dude dropped 70 in TD Garden against one of the better defensive teams in basketball at the time in the Boston Celtics. So this kid is legit. He is here to stay. I think the Suns see him as their face of their franchise. You add him with DeAndre Ayton. Look, I have the Suns at a very interesting spot in my power rankings, and Devin Booker is a huge, huge part of that. So watch out for him making an impact over the next couple years. He seems to be due for Phoenix for a very long time. All right, let's get into our next NBA rumor. How about DeMarcus Cousins? He apparently had a contract from the Pelicans. So again, as I said on, when he actually got signed and the day after, DeMarcus Cousins is a huge liar. The Pelicans offered DeMarcus Cousins a 2-year deal of around $40 million right after his Achilles blew out during the season. Cousins declined, he wanted to test free agency, and he ended up signing a deal for $35 million less and ended up on the Warriors and is now eternally hated across the league. So this just goes along so well with what we know about DeMarcus Cousins and what we know about the situation. Him saying that he had no offers and playing this woe is me card sounded so unbelievably suspicious in the first place. So it turns out he had an offer from the Pelicans in general. It turns out he had an offer from the Pelicans during the season of $20 million a year. And it also turns out that he would have had an offer from the Boston Celtics had he waited, maybe 2 hours to see who else would have wanted to sign him at the mid-level exception. But no, he didn't wait. He just signed with the Warriors, and here we are with the Warriors going to win the NBA Finals, and the season is already over on July 4th. So this is so unsurprising to me. This is exactly what I called. This is exactly what I expected. There was no way that Boogie had no offers, and it turns out that he was just lying about it. So let's move on. I can't talk about Boogie anymore. He's just going to make me mad. And it's July 4th. How angry can I really be? Happy Independence Day to all of our lovely Cam Rogers Show watchers out there. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Are the Spurs in no rush to trade Kawhi Leonard? Well, seeing as trade talks are moving very slowly, that's not a huge surprise because apparently the price tag for Kawhi Leonard has just been extraordinarily ridiculous. I mean, you're going to see later in the show what the Spurs have been asking the Lakers for Kawhi Leonard. It is just ridiculous. It is silly, and it is just a joke what the Spurs are asking from the Lakers. Again, I'm not going to spoil it because I want to talk about it later when we go over the Lakers, but I would still expect Kawhi to get traded this offseason. I cannot cannot imagine the Spurs sitting on this guy with all of the assets that they could end up getting him for and just not trading him this year. I just can't see that end up happening. I think they're going to end up moving him, whether it's to the Lakers or the 76ers. Maybe the Clippers make a run for him. We're not sure, but he's going to end up being traded this year. I cannot see him ending up on the Spurs next year. The relationship is just too broken. He's going to end up moving on. But I don't know from you guys, which team will Kawhi Leonard be traded to? Will it be the Lakers? Will it be the Sixers? Could it be a surprise team like the Celtics or the Clippers? Let me know in the comments section. Or hell, do you think he's just going to stay with the Spurs for next year? Both are possible. I think he's going to end up on the Lakers, though. If you're the Spurs, can you really hold out trading him away for that many assets? I still think they're going to move him for Brandon Ingram plus maybe a first-round pick and another bench guy. But I just can't see the Spurs saying no to a 21-year-old potential superstar in Brandon Ingram when they have Kawhi Leonard and they know he wants to leave. Maybe potential superstar is a little ambitious of a tag, but not many guys out there with his length and scoring ability at such a young age. The dude averaged almost 17 points per game at 20, 21 years old. That's something that the Spurs will definitely be interested in. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Isaiah Thomas is interested in joining the Orlando Magic. So much so that he's already followed the Magic on social media. And this would be a great landing spot for Isaiah Thomas. I mean, just for maybe a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, you give him $14, $15 million. You have him be your lead point guard ahead of DJ Augustine. He'll work with Mo Bamba. He'll work with Aaron Gordon. You'll work through some of the kinks with Evan Fournier as well on the wing. So I would love to see Isaiah Thomas on the Orlando Magic. I think that's a perfect spot for Isaiah Thomas to go to, especially because he can't go back to the Lakers. He needs to go to a place where he can get a ton of minutes and can put up a ton of points. He's an inflated stats kind of guy when he's not with the Boston Celtics. And there's no better place for Isaiah Thomas to put up inflated stats than the Orlando Magic. I mean, he could end up averaging over 20 points per game on one of the worst rosters in basketball. I mean, who else is going to score on this team? Aaron Gordon is going to score. I can't see Mo Bamba averaging more than 11 or 12 points per game in his first season. So that leaves 20 points per game left on the table for Isaiah Thomas and Evan Fournier to rack up. I think Isaiah Thomas would have a huge year on the Orlando Magic. We want to thank Autolist for sponsoring our Cam Rogers episode today. Are you looking for a used or new car? Tired of browsing a million sites? Go to Autolist.com to browse the largest source of inventory on the web, or you can just download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android. Autolist taking us through the Cam Rogers show today. I want to thank them for sponsoring today's episode. But before we move on, what's better on the grill? Are you a hot dog person or are you a burger person? These are the real questions that split apart our country. Are you a hot dog person? Are you a burger person? Is a hot dog a sandwich? A burger certainly is. A hot dog is not. A hot dog is not a sandwich. But we're not getting into that today because that is going to cause way too many arguments in the comments section. But are you a hot dog person? Are you a burger person? We got comments flowing in. Let me know what you guys are grilling up today on Independence Day. I would love a hot dog like right now. Can I have a hot dog? Lane, did you have any hot dogs? No hot dogs. See, that's a shame. I wish I had a hot dog right now. I am drinking a Dr. Pepper, and it's 9:08 in the morning here in Dallas, Texas. But hey, it's Independence Day, July 4th. Who cares? I do want a hot dog, though. Can someone fast order me a hot dog, please? It is what it is. You know who else is a hot dog? DeMarcus Cousins is a hot dog for signing a 1-year deal at $5.3 million with the Warriors. But he's not the only one. There have been 24 contracts signed this year that have been 1-year deals so far. A lot of 1-year deals, especially for some notable players. Rudy Gay, Trevor Ariza, Tyreke Evans, DeMarcus Cousins, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Nick Stauskas. A lot of 1-year deals, especially for some named players who you might have expected to get some longer-term deals here. But I think it's indicative there's not a lot of money out there right now in the NBA. I mean, this was a pretty tight cap year for a lot of teams, especially with the likes of the 76ers not doling out any max deals, the Knicks trying to maintain their cap space for next summer, the Bulls not really making any crazy moves. Those were some of the top 5 teams in cap space, and they just haven't been spending their money. The people who've been hit hardest by this have been the restricted free agents. Marcus Smart, Zach LaVine, Jabari Parker. I mean, these guys have gotten absolutely roasted in the free agency market right now. Nobody has offered a single max offer sheet to any restricted free agent. Not to Aaron Gordon. He just went back to the Magic on obviously on a max deal, but no other team offered him. Clint Capella hasn't gotten one. Like I said, Jabari Parker, Marcus Smart, and Zach LaVine, they haven't gotten one either. Yusuf Nurkic hasn't gotten one. No offer sheets given out from other teams to any restricted free agents. Julius Randle didn't even have an offer until the restricted free agent tag was taken off of him, and he became unrestricted. So a rough year for a lot of free agents in the NBA. I say that while, over $1 billion were handed out in player contracts this summer. But if you're a restricted free agent, certainly was not the best time of year for you. All right, let's get into our last NBA rumor. Was the Warriors' initial target Tyreke Evans? Yes, it was. So everyone can blame Tyreke Evans for DeMarcus Cousins ending up on the Warriors. So the Warriors originally offered Tyreke Evans the mid-level exception before they offered it to DeMarcus Cousins. Evans turned it down due to the low pay and lack of opportunity, which makes a lot of sense. I think that's pretty reasonable. Look, the guy cares a little bit more about the amount of money and the amount of play time over just winning a free ring. Wow, what a concept, right? So I think with Tyreke Evans, he made the right decision. I mean, he got a one-year deal for $12 million with the Indiana Pacers to just be their big scorer off the bench, which they did not have last year. He's going to be a great guy for their guard rotation to back up the likes of Victor Oladipo and Bojan Bogdanovic, who does play small forward. So they need some extra scoring off the bench. So great signing for the Pacers. He would have been a great fit on the Warriors, and he would have stopped them from signing DeMarcus Cousins. But unfortunately, that is not how things worked out. Tyreke Evans ended up on the Pacers, and DeMarcus Cousins ended up ruining all of our lives and going to the Golden State Warriors. I'm Harris Rubenstein, hosting the Cam Rogers Show today. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsDean. I am currently at 1,350 Twitter followers. Let's try to get me to 1,500 today, people. It is July 4th. Give me something to celebrate other than this great country that we have. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsDean. Like I said, I will answer as many NBA questions as you can possibly throw at me. I will answer all of them throughout the day, so shoot me a question on Twitter. All right, so we just went through our general NBA rumors. Let's go from a little bit more of a Lakers-centric ideology here. And we start with our first rumor. Did the Lakers have a chance to sign Boogie? Well, apparently they did. The Lakers turned down a chance to sign Cousins to a similar mid-level exception that he went to the Warriors, but the Lakers were worried about what his impact would be on the locker room with so many young players, as well as what his impact would be playing with LeBron James. Now, DeMarcus Cousins has a really bad reputation across the NBA for not being a great teammate, for causing problems in the locker room, and for overall just being kind of a brat, which, he has not shown anything else than that across his entire NBA career. He was a problem child with the Kings. He was a little bit of an issue in the locker room last year with the Pelicans. The team started to play better when he wasn't out there on the court, and now he goes to the Warriors to try to reignite his image. But at the same time, couldn't going to the Warriors end up ruining DeMarcus Cousins' reputation anyway? I mean, what happens if he doesn't end up succeeding on the Warriors and they don't win the title? He's the fall guy. So I think this is a bigger risk than anything for Boogie than it is having an upside. I mean, the upside is that he wins a ring, but I don't see any scenario where people go, oh yeah, Boogie, he's a great teammate because he spent 1 year spending half the year on the bench and he won a free title with the Warriors. I don't know how that ups his stock in terms of, his reputation across the NBA. But hey, people seem convinced that this is going to help his career. I'm still not convinced. But let me know in the comments section, how are you celebrating Independence Day today? Happy July 4th. Celebrate this great country. Give me a USA in the comments section if you love America. I know that I do. USA, baby. I'm wearing some blue today. We change up our background to the beautiful stars and stripes. Don't worry, no kneeling going on today. Not going to kneel. It's July 4th, and also I'm sitting in a chair, and I don't think you'd be able to see me anyway. Let me know in the comments section how you guys are celebrating Independence Day today. All right, let's get back to our Lakers rumors. The Lakers are apparently trying to make a run for Damian Lillard. Now, put a little bit of an asterisk on this because the Lakers are looking at a lot of tradable options right now. So they could make a move as well for him, but I doubt that Lillard wants to leave. I mean, he absolutely loves the Portland Trail Blazers. He loves the city. He loves what it's done for his brand. So I highly doubt that the Lakers end up actually making a move for him. He would be so expensive for them. I mean, let's see. You'd probably have to give up Lonzo Ball, definitely Josh Hart, multiple first-round picks, and maybe another young player. Plus the fact that they can't even afford him right now because he's owed a max deal, and they just do not have the cap space for him. So I don't think this is very realistic. I think the Lakers are probably just probing the league right now to see what the trade value is for random stars. I mean, you got to know what it is. I mean, you have to know how expensive these guys are. So see with Damian Lillard, I don't think he ends up on the Lakers, but good for the Lakers for poking around a little bit and seeing who is available. Speaking of who is available, Lillard isn't the only guy that apparently the Lakers are calling around for. Kevin Love apparently has been on the Lakers call list. DeMar DeRozan has been on the Lakers call list. Bradley Beal and John Wall have been on the Lakers call list as well. So we know that the Lakers have a ton of assets to make a big-time trade, but I personally think this might just be a leak to try to push a Kawhi trade a little bit forward and be like, hey, if you don't want our assets, we're just going to go trade him for another guy. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but again, good for the Lakers to try to probe around the NBA to see who is available. I mean, if you're the Lakers and you have LeBron James, I want to know what Damian Lillard is worth on the trade market. I would love to see if I could get Bradley Beal for a little bit below market value. You got to know where you stand with a lot of these guys. I mean, we saw it in the NFL. We saw it with a rumor this past year that the Patriots were calling around and probing the league about what Rob Gronkowski's trade value is. This is a very common thing that happens across all sports. All teams like to know what the price is for stars on the trade market, and the Lakers are no exception. They want to know what these guys are worth because they may very well be bringing in one of them to play with LeBron James. So good for the Lakers and seeing who is available out there. So let's go to our next rumor. Kobe's apparently quite happy to have LeBron in LA, tweeting out, "Welcome to the family," right after he got signed. As well, in an interview with Ramona Shelburne, he sent out a text in all caps saying, "I love it." So good for Kobe and LeBron getting along here. Kobe says that he and LeBron have spoken multiple times about LeBron joining the Lakers, and he also says that LeBron makes the Lakers a top-tier team again, which he does. We can all be in agreement of that LeBron makes the Lakers officially relevant. It is always good to get along with the former superstars of the team that you just moved to. And when you're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant is obviously the number one guy that you're going to talk about when it comes to talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think it's good that the two of them are getting along. They've always seemed to have a good relationship. So now that he's on the Lakers, I think it's going to be even better for both of them. But I don't know from you guys, how many titles will LeBron James win with the Lakers? Will he even win any? I think he'll end up with one. I think we're going to get over the next 4 years, because I think that the Warriors, they're going to make the finals this year, and then I think the year after is the first year that they're not going to make the finals. I think we're going to get back-to-back Lakers-Celtics NBA finals, and I think they're going to split it. So I think LeBron will beat the Lakers once. I think Kyrie will end up being LeBron and the Lakers once. So we're going to get a split if you ask me, but I think LeBron will end up with at least one, maybe two, depending on the stars that the Lakers acquire over the next 2 years. I mean, if they end up with, Klay Thompson and Kawhi Leonard, along with LeBron James and Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma and Mo Wagner and all the other guys that they're going to draft and sign in the next couple years, I think the Lakers could have a chance to pull off a little bit of a run here. So I mentioned before that the Spurs have a ridiculous price tag for Kawhi. I think I overstated. It is not ridiculous. It is stupid. It is a stupid price tag. This is what what the Spurs are asking the Lakers for Kawhi Leonard. And we even put this in a trade details graphic for you because I think we all need to understand how ridiculous of a price tag this is. The Spurs are offering the Lakers, or are asking from the Lakers right now, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, 2 firsts, and then 2 first-round swaps. That is a stupid, stupid price tag. Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, 2 first, and then another 2 first-round pick swaps. What the heck is going on? Like, what are you even doing? Why would you even call up a team and ask that for a price tag when the dude has said multiple times that he's not going to be on your team next year and will sign with this team outright in free agency anyway? What? 3 first-round picks, or excuse me, 2 former first-round picks, a good young backup point guard, 2 separate first-round picks, and then 2 other first-round pick swaps. What? That is expensive, even if Kawhi Leonard didn't already say that he was going to sign with the Lakers in free agency in 2019. Why would any team make this move for Kawhi Leonard? That is an outrageous price tag. Look at what the Lakers team would be if they made that trade. They have no one left. They have no one left. It'd be Lonzo, Kawhi, LeBron, and JaVale McGee. That would be the whole team. That is a ridiculous price tag for the Spurs to be asking from the Lakers. I can't believe that, A, this got leaked, B, this was even a possibility that the Spurs thought that the Lakers would even buy into this. Outrageous, ridiculous. The Spurs should be a little bit ashamed of themselves. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Oh, God, Paul George. Paul George apparently didn't sign with the Lakers because they didn't trade for him, which I can't believe is even a theory that came out of Paul George's mouth. Paul, you want to know why the Lakers didn't trade for you? It's because you had said, if they don't trade for me, I'm still going to sign with them in 2018 anyway. So if you say that, they're not going to trade for you. They're just going to wait for you to sign with them because that was the expectation from both parties. So now all of a sudden you're throwing this asterisk and blaming the Lakers for you not signing with them because they didn't trade for you, even though you told them you were going to sign with them. So much so that you told them you were going to sign with them that Magic Johnson got fined $500,000, $500,000 for tampering. And now it's the Lakers' fault? I don't want to come off as if I'm always blaming the players for things. I don't. It's usually the team or the league's fault that something is going wrong. But between DeMarcus Cousins and Paul George, just stop. Stop talking. That is ridiculous. The Lakers didn't trade for you, Paul George, because you said were you going to sign for them. Why would they have traded for you? Why? It makes absolutely no sense to me. I can't believe that Paul George even said this. Let me know what you guys think, though. What's more likely for the Lakers this season? Winning a title or losing in the first round? 2. Losing in the first round is way more likely for the Lakers this year. I actually think it's going to end up what ends up happening this year. I think they have way too many young guys with very little playoff experience. I think also, if you're LeBron James and you know that you're not winning the title this year, you might not even make it to the finals. I think you're fine losing in the first round. Because, look, you have an excuse that it's just a young team, and you can just kind of coast for a little bit this year. Enjoy being in LA, enjoy rubbing elbows with celebrities, take a little bit of a load off, have a little bit of a longer vacation with your family. You're not playing basketball all the way to middle of June for the first time in your career. So I think it'd be fine for LeBron James and Lakers if they lost in the first round. I think LeBron honestly just wants the rest. All right, so the Cam Rogers Show today is brought to you by Autolist. Are you tired of searching a million sites to buy a car? Go to Autolist.com to browse the largest source of inventory on the web, or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android. I downloaded their app. I've been looking to buy a new car ever since I moved down here to Dallas, and I am in the process thanks to Autolist. I'll send you guys a picture once I pick up my new car in a couple of weeks. I'll let you guys know. But you're watching the Cam Rogers Show. I am not Cam Rogers. I am Harris Rubenstein, taking over for Cam while he enjoys a little bit of vacation during Independence Day here on July 4th. We've been crushing it in terms of NBA content all week long, so I felt it necessary that we spend today launching some NBA power ranking fireworks. So without further ado, let's start at number 30. For my power rankings, I have the Orlando Magic. Not a lot of surprise here, seeing as the Orlando Magic just do not have any resemblance of an overbearing amount of talent on this team. I mean, they have Mo Bamba, who they just drafted this year. They have Aaron Gordon, and then that's literally it. That is all that the Orlando Magic have on their team. So they're number 30. They're going to be the worst team in basketball this year. I don't think we need to spend too much time on them. Let's get to number 29 on my power rankings. We got the Atlanta Hawks, who are rebuilding, but are still rebuilding. They're not going to be very good this year. In fact, they're going to be pretty bad. They got Trae Young. He's going to score a lot of threes. They drafted Kevin Huerter. He's also going to shoot a lot of threes. But I'm looking out for John Collins. I think that dude is going to be a star in this league. He's going to be a great guy down low for the Hawks. But again, this is still the Hawks. They drafted number 3 overall this year for a reason. They obviously traded the pick to number 5 to the Mavs, but I don't think we need to spend too much time on the Hawks. All right, let's go to number 28. I do like what they're doing in Summer League with Marvin Bagley and Harry Giles, but the Kings are still really bad. The Kings are going to be really, really bad this year. They're going to lose a lot of games. Maybe they break the 30-win mark. Maybe they get to 35 wins, but this team is not deep. I don't like their coaching staff, but I love De'Aaron Fox. I love Marvin Bagley, and I am as excited as anyone to finally see Harry Giles play basketball for the first time in what seems to be a millennium. So excited to see him back out there, but the Kings are not going to be very good this year. All right, let's move to number 27 on my list. We got the Brooklyn Nets, and look, I love how the Brooklyn Nets have been rebuilding. They've been getting a lot of good young assets at cheap prices. They got Joe Harris coming back next year. They signed Ed Davis to a pretty cheap contract. They only lost Nick Stauskas. Stauskas? It doesn't matter. They got John Musa in the first round of the draft anyway. So good for the Nets. They're trying to rebuild, but the Nets are going to suck this year again. But that's fine because the Nets finally have a first-round pick next year. Yay, Nets. They're finally going to be able to draft the face of the franchise. Let's go on to number 26. I'm so low on this team. I might be the lowest on this team of any media member in the NBA. I have the Charlotte Hornets at number 26. I think they are going to completely bottom out this year. I think you're going to see a Kemba Walker trade at the deadline. I think they're going to try to move Nick Batum as well. They want to grow this team around Malik Monk and Miles Bridges. Maybe they make a move for Kemba Walker and get a young point guard in there. But I think the Hornets are going to completely tank this year. It's time for them to start over. Mitch Kupchak has to blow it up. They do not have an opportunity here to make the playoffs. I really don't think that they're going to be a good team next year. All right, let's go to number 25. We got the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies, I put at 25 with the idea that they have a lot of upside because, look, Marcus Gasol is still on the team. Mike Conley is still on the team. And I think that Jaren Jackson is going to be an absolute superstar in the league. But at the same time, after that, the rest of the roster is pretty bad. So if you're the Grizzlies, you're just hoping that you make it to 30 wins this year. They don't have a lot of talent on this team. I'm not a big fan of it. I think they might try to move Mike Conley this year. I don't even know if you can move that contract. But the whole goal of the Grizzlies this year is Jaren Jackson Jr. and his development and him trying to progress into becoming one of the better big men in the league. So we got the Grizzlies there at number 25. Let's go to number 24 on my power rankings. We got the Chicago Bulls, who I love how they're rebuilding right now. I love the Wendell Carter pick. I love the Chandler Hutchison pick. They got to bring back Zach LaVine, though. I think if you put him on the max, you're going to completely regret that contract over the next couple of years. But you get Wendell Carter as the defensive stopper down low next to Lauri Markkanen. You got Chris Dunn, who I really like as a distributor and as a playmaker. If you get Zach LaVine in, he can be your primary scorer along with Lauri Markkanen. I'm a fan of the Bulls. I like what they're doing. I like their rebuild. They're not going to win a lot of games next year, but that's fine. The Bulls don't need to win games right now. They need to just develop the young talent and get them as many minutes together as possible as they try to rebuild the Bulls back into the franchise that we know and love. All right, let's get into number 23 here. You know, it's funny that they're actually number 23, seeing as they just lost number 23. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers coming in as my 23rd best team in the NBA. Look, this roster is bad. This roster is bad. I mean, it's a bunch of old guys, it's a bunch of overpaid guys, and it's a bunch of overpaid old guys. Like, they don't have a lot of young talent on this team. I know they have Kevin Love. I know they have some decent vets, but I think they're going to start selling off assets like everybody was in 2008. Like, this Cavs team has to blow it up and rebuild around Colin Sexton. I had a really good trade yesterday where I had the Cavs trading away Kevin Love and getting back Zach Collins plus a first-round pick from the Portland Trail Blazers. I still think they should do that. That would be great. They got to get a young guy down low to start to develop and rebuild this team. I know Dan Gilbert wants this team to be competitive now that he has his team back from LeBron James, but they got to restart. This Cavs team is in such a bad shape on so many levels. All right, let's go to number 22 on my power rankings. I got the New York Knicks. Now, this is fine because the Knicks want to be bad. They have no reason to be good right now. And all they should be doing right now is allowing their young players to get as many minutes as possible. Let Kristaps come back at his own pace. I don't care if Kristaps doesn't come back till February. I don't care. Let Kristaps take as long as he needs. Let Kevin Knox do a little bit of developing. Have him start at the small forward position. You just signed Mario Hezonja. He can come in and play the 2 and kind of develop another young player. And, of course, Frankie Smokes there, the number 8 overall pick in last year's draft. He's going to have another year of development as well. So I like the Knicks' young assets. I think they're going to get plenty of minutes this year. It just really depends on what happens with Kristaps Porzingis. That is going to be the ultimate decider for the next season. All right, let's go to number 21 on my list. From the depths of the NBA to a little under middle of the road, we got the Phoenix Suns for me coming in at number 21. Look, you get someone like Trevor Ariza, you draft DeAndre Ayton, you draft Mikal Bridges, and all of a sudden, you're just ending up with a really, really well thought out basketball team. You still have Devin Booker. You still have, you signed Trevor Ariza, like I said. You're bringing back a lot of good young players and a couple good vets as well from last year, like Tyson Chandler. Maybe Marquise Chris finally takes that next step that we've been waiting for him to take over the past 2 seasons. But overall, I like how the Suns are rebuilding. I like their new head coach in Igor Kokoskov, and I like what their starting lineup looks like for next year. I think the Suns are a borderline playoff team. But remember, a borderline playoff team in the West is nothing, seeing as they have 13 potential playoff teams for next year. 13 potential playoff teams. The Suns are one of those teams for sure, but they only come in at number 21 on my rankings. All right, let's go through the bottom 10 teams in the NBA right now, at least according to my NBA power rankings. We've got the Magic, the Hawks, the Kings, the Nets, and the Hornets. A lot of familiar bad teams on that list. Then we got the Grizzlies, the Bulls, the Cavaliers, ironically landing on number 23 on my list. Then we have the Knicks and the Suns pulling in at number 22 and 21. Are you looking for a new or used car? Tired of browsing a million websites? Go to Autolist.com to browse the largest source of inventory on the web or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android. Head to Autolist.com for the #1 car shopping experience anywhere on the internet. Autolist joining us here today on the Cam Rogers Show. All right, let's go into the top 20. We start at number 20 with the Dallas Mavericks, and I have loved what they have done this offseason. You bring in DeAndre Jordan, you make a big draft day trade to get Luka Doncic, you sit him next to Dennis Smith Jr., and boom, bang, pow, all of a sudden, you have a potential playoff team for next season here in Dallas. And their starting lineup, look, people, this is a good starting lineup. Dennis Smith Jr. next to Luka Doncic. You have Harrison Barnes as a primary scorer. Dirk coming back next season along with DeAndre Jordan. Boom. good for you, Mavericks. I think this is good enough to maybe get the 8th seed in the West. I think they need to make one more move at the deadline to get one more score, but I think the Mavericks could surprise some people this year. I think they have a lot of potential going forward. All right, we have the Mavericks at number 20. Let's head to number 19. We got the Detroit Pistons. Now, the most interesting thing about the Pistons is what we're going to see out of them next season. Because next season is when, look, the cap space for the Detroit Pistons right now is a complete and utter disaster. This is one of the worst cap teams in the entire NBA. I mean, they're paying Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond more money than I think either of them are worth. I'm worried that Andre Drummond, for as good as he is, you just simply can't win a title with him as, your second or maybe even your best player. Depends on where you rank him and Blake Griffin. But, I mean, look at the rest of their team. Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Stanley Johnson. Like, these guys just aren't elite players. I mean, their number one free agency signing so far this year has been Glenn Robinson III. Yuck. I'm not a big fan of what the Pistons have been trying to do. I don't like the Andre Drummond-Blake Griffin combo. I don't like Reggie Jackson as a point guard. I don't like giving John Lure $10 million a year. I think this Pistons team is in total flux right now. They're going to be a league average team for a bunch of seasons to come. All right, let's move off of the Pistons. Let's go to number 18. We got the Miami Heat. Speaking of another team that is in complete cap hell, the Miami Heat are in bad shape in terms of their cap. But they still do have a decent roster. I think they have enough starters and enough good players to maybe make the playoffs in the East. Maybe they end up as a 6, 7, or 8 seed like they were last year. But look, I mean, the cap on this team right now, they're negative $20 million under the cap. Look, that's what happens when you give Hassan Whiteside a max contract and you just start doling out, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 million contracts to a lot of average players. I mean, Tyler Johnson's making $19 million next season, and he's not even going to start for the Heat. Like, that's terrible. James Johnson is getting paid $15 million. Kelly Olynyk is getting paid $12.5 million. The Heat have to clean up their cap space, because if they don't, they have no future whatsoever. They got a lot of mid to late 20s guys, early 30s guys on a lot of bad contracts. They are in a really, really nasty spot. But hey, some of these players are still talented, and Erik Spoelstra is a top 5 coach in the NBA. You can hold me to that. I'll take Erik Spoelstra over most of the NBA in terms of coaches. What that guy did or has done over the past couple years has been quite impressive with a pretty average Heat roster. All right, let's move on here from the Miami Heat. At number 17, I have the Los Angeles Clippers. And I think along with every Clippers fan out there, we can all say in unison, ready? 3, 2, 1. What the hell are the Clippers doing? Like, what is the Clippers' plan here? I do not understand what exactly they're looking for. They have so many guards on this team. Milos Teodosic, Patrick Beverley, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Avery Bradley, Jerome Robinson, Lou Williams. What are you going to do with all these guards? Who's going to play? What's the rotation? Why do you have so many guards? I'm stunned that they even traded away Austin Rivers, because they just love guards so much. And they also have no one down low to back up anyone like a Marcin Gortat. They don't have a single starting caliber power forward on this team right now. I know that they have Montrezl Harrell, who's a restricted free agent, but they haven't given him a contract yet. They don't currently have anyone down low that's worth a damn. This Clippers team is super, super weird. They got to blow it up. I mean, Marcin Gortat, $14 million a year. He's an expiring contract. Tobias Harris at $15 million. Danilo Gallinari getting paid $22 million a year. I mean, good Christ, this Clippers team has got to clean it up. All right, let's move on here away from the Los Angeles Clippers. My next team at number 16 is the Washington Wizards. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Washington Wizards simply because they just make me so angry that I cannot see straight. This is the worst run team in all of basketball. They drafted maybe the best or second best player in the history of their franchise in John Wall, and they've been able to do nothing in about a decade of having him on the team. They've never made it to an Eastern Conference Finals. The closest they came was taking a average Celtics team to 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals. That was the closest they have gotten I can't talk about the Wizards anymore. They're coming in at 16 because they're extraordinarily average. Let's go to number 15 on my list. I got the New Orleans Pelicans, and it's such a shame because this team really looked like it had finally turned a corner last year in terms of on-court talent. The hope was that they were going to bring back both Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins, and instead they lose both of them, and they're stuck signing Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle, who are two very discount versions of both of those players. Now, I think Julius Randle plus Nikola Mirotic and Anthony Davis is an interesting combo down low, but I do not think that it is enough to take you that far in the NBA. I certainly don't think it makes them an NBA playoff team. The Pelicans have a long way to go, and I said this yesterday on NBA Weekly. This is Anthony Davis's last year as a New Orleans Pelican. I think he is going to ask for a trade. I think he wants out. I think he wants to start competing for some titles, and I think he's going to force his way out of New Orleans. So the Pelicans coming in at number 15. Let's go to number 14. At number 14, we're headed to the Midwest. We got the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm a big Bucks guy. I think that they have a lot of potential. This is my dark horse to win the Eastern Conference next year. If they can get one more shooter around Giannis, if everything can come together and this team can actually start playing some damn defense, then maybe the Bucks can make a run at the Eastern Conference title next season. I think this team has a lot of talent. And also, you can make an argument right now that they have the best player in the entire conference with Giannis. Who is the best player in the Eastern Conference right now? If it isn't Giannis. Joel Embiid doesn't play enough games. Ben Simmons is only a second-year player. I don't really think that Kyrie Irving can really be considered the best player in the conference. He's not better than Giannis. Gordon Hayward didn't play last season. Al Horford simply doesn't score enough points. So who is the best player in the Eastern Conference? Let me know in the comment section. And also, what is your drink of choice today? It is July 4th. It is Independence Day. What are y'all sipping on today? I'm sipping on a lovely Diet Dr. Pepper because I'm not allowed to drink alcohol live on air, which is a shame, though it is only 9:41 here in Dallas, Texas, so I don't really know how much drinking I'd be doing either way. But let me know in the comment section what your drink of choice is. We're seeing a lot of waters. Good. Proud of you guys. Got to filter out that system. All right, let's move away from the Bucks here. Let's go to number 13. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves, who might not be at number 13 for very long, seeing as Karl Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler do not like each other at all. So with the Timberwolves at number 13, I mean, look, this team hasn't really changed too much from last year to this year. It's very much the same roster, and it all revolves around the health of the team, and also if Tom Thibodeau will finally start using the players on their bench. So we got the Timberwolves coming in number 13. Let's go to number 12. We have the Indiana Pacers. I'm a huge fan of the Pacers. I love their rebuild. I love Oladipo. I love Miles Turner. I love the additions of Tyreke Evans and Dougie McDermott. I'm a big fan of what the Pacers can do next year. I think they have the potential to end up being one of the top 3 seeds in the East next year behind the Celtics and 76ers. This is a good team, well coached, good on both sides of the ball with a lot of long and smart players. This is a really good Indiana Pacers basketball team. I'm really excited to see what steps they take for next season. Let's go to number 11. I might be a little low on this team. Might be a little low, but I have the Denver Nuggets coming in at number 11, mostly because I need to see them prove it to me first. I mean, look, I was really high on the Nuggets going into last season also, and they didn't even make the playoffs. I know winning 46 games and not making the playoffs is simply because, the Western Conference is stacked, but look, you're paying Gary Harris $16.5 million a year. You're paying Paul Millsap $30 million a year. You just gave Nikola Jokic a massive extension of 5 years and $148.5 million. You got to make the playoffs this year. You have to make the playoffs this year if you're the Nuggets. I can't believe that they are a team, one of the top 5 cap hits in all of basketball. They're not even a title contender for next year. They got to figure out this team and whether or not they need to start selling off pieces to try to get a superstar in Denver. So let's go through a recap of my power rankings before we enter into the top 10. We got the Orlando Magic, the Hawks, the Kings, the Nets, and the Hornets taking up the bottom 5. After that, we got the Grizzlies, the Bulls, the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Suns. Moving on, we got the Mavericks, the Pistons, the Heat, the Clippers, and the Wizards. And then we have the Pelicans, the Bucks, the T-Wolves, the Pacers, and the Nuggets. All right, let's go into our top 10. But first, a reminder that today's episode is brought to you by Autolist. Are you looking for a news or used car? Are you tired of browsing a million sites? go to Autolist.com or download their top-rated iPhone or Android app to get the best car shopping experience anywhere on the internet. All right, let's get into our top 10 in my NBA power rankings. At number 10, I still have the San Antonio Spurs. I know that they're losing Kawhi Leonard, but to be totally honest, I don't really care. This team had Kawhi Leonard for 9 games last year and still won 47 games in a very good Western Conference. They still have LaMarcus Aldridge. They still have DeJounte Murray, who made second-team all-defense last year. They're bringing back Rudy Gay. They still have Pau Gasol. They drafted Lonnie Walker, and they still have a great bench full with plenty of shooters like a Danny Green and a Marco Bellinelli, who they picked up this offseason as well. I think the Spurs are going to make the playoffs this year. I think they'll end up being one of the better teams in basketball. Let's go to number 9. I might be a little low on them too, but I don't really care where they end up in the regular season. We got the Toronto Raptors coming off a near 60-win season, bringing back almost the same roster outside of a new head coach, and I just cannot bring myself to believe in the Raptors. I can't do it. I called them as one of my, I said that they were going to make the NBA Finals last year. They completely burned me, make me look stupid, so I can't believe in them anymore. I am totally out on the Toronto Raptors. I am on team blow it up. Blow it up, trade away Ibaka, trade DeRozan, trade Lowry, trade Valanciunas. I don't care. Blow it up. This team is not going to win a title as it's currently constructed. All right, let's go to number 8. We got the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, was last year a fluke? Was them almost winning 50 games last year a fluke, or was it a reality? I mean, we've really been waiting for the Trailblazers to take that next step over the past couple of seasons with Damian Lillard and with CJ McCollum. We saw that Jusuf Nurkic really made a huge impact on that team last year. And now you look at their offseason acquisitions. They bring in Anthony Simmons and Seth Curry along with a couple other shooters. They have a nice draft as well. So, look, overall, this Trailblazers team, they got to make the playoffs again this year, and they have to make it past the first round. I mean, you can't be paying Lillard and McCollum what you're paying them and not at least make it to the Western Conference semifinals this year. I mean, if they can't even make it to the semifinals, I mean, the Trailblazers need at this point to make it to the Western Conference finals to support the amount of money that they're paying their backcourt. So they got a long way to go before they're officially a title contender, but they got to make it out of the first round of the playoffs this year. I think they'll end up doing it. All right, let's move on here from the Trailblazers. Let's move into number 7. How about the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 7? Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and it doesn't matter. They're not going to make it to the finals, people. I don't know how this team is considered a finals favorite in the Western Conference. They're going to do the same thing they did last year. They're going to make it to the playoffs, and they're simply going to get beaten by a team that is better than them. I know that they're bringing back Andre Roberson, but to be honest, I don't really care. I think that this Thunder team is massively overrated, and they are going to struggle as much as they did last year. Sure, they can make it, into a top 3 seed in the West. They ain't winning the West, and I think that they're in line for another playoff upset next season. All right, let's get to number 6. How about the second best team in the entire Eastern Conference at number 6? We have the Philadelphia 76ers. I like what they're building. I like the addition yesterday of Wilson Chandler. They already brought back J.J. Redick on a $12 million deal. I like their bench a lot. A lot of scoring on that bench between Landry Shamet and Wilson Chandler, like I said. Maybe Markelle Fultz can remember how to play basketball and actually show that he was worth the first-round pick. But another year Ben Simmons, another year of Joel Embiid, another year of Covington and Saric as well. This 76ers team is going to win a lot of games next season in a very, very bad Eastern Conference. This 76ers team is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm very, very excited to see what the 76ers bring to the table. Who knows? Maybe they still make a trade for Kawhi Leonard and end up being the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. But that is for another day. All right, let's go to number 5. I have talked about them so much on NBA Weekly as the number 1 Jazz fan in sports media right now. Utah Jazz are a number 5 team in basketball going into next season. They have it all. They have the face of the franchise in Donovan Mitchell. They have a great, primary defender in Rudy Gobert. They have a fantastic head coach in Quinn Snyder. They have great supplementary pieces around them in Ricky Rubio, Joe Ingles, Alec Burks, Derek Favors. They have a deep bench. They just drafted another great shooter in Grayson Allen. This Jazz team is on the precipice of greatness. Once the Warriors Lakers falter, I'm telling you people, it's going to be the Lakers and the Jazz again, just like it was in the 80s with Karl Malone, Stockton taking on Magic. I really think that this Jazz team is about to become one of the best teams in all of basketball. They were so much fun to watch last year, and they should be even better this upcoming season. All right, let's go to number 4 on my power rankings. You bring in the king. It's pretty easy to go from one of the worst teams in basketball to one of the best teams in basketball. I have the Lakers coming in at number 4 on my power rankings. Look, I'm a believer in this Lakers team. I like LeBron James, obviously, the best player in our game, the best player of the generation, and maybe the best player of all time. Now, you pair him with a great off-ball point guard in Lonzo Ball. You pair him with a budding shooter in Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. You just add in Mo Wagner as well. A couple nice bench pieces in Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, all on one-year deals to save up cap space for next season. I like Josh Hart as well. If they want to make a move at the deadline, they have enough assets to do so. This Lakers team, they might not win the finals next year. They might not even make it to the Western Conference Finals next year. But one thing is for sure, the Lakers are going to be a ton of fun this season. They are going to be must-watch basketball television. Must-watch. Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and LeBron James on the court at the same time is going to be a sight to see. I can't wait. This team has a lot of heart, a lot of effort behind it, and a lot of good defense. The real question for the Lakers this year that they need to get the answer to, is Luke Walton the right coach for the future? That will be what ultimately becomes the decision out of this season. All right, let's move away from the Lakers. Let's get into my top 3 teams. And number 3, I have the Houston Rockets. Now, look, the Rockets more so than any team in the NBA have a huge chance of just completely tanking or bottoming out this year compared to last year. I think we have a big-time problem with the Rockets. Chris Paul and James Harden, sure, you bring back Clint Capella, but after that, I mean, Eric Gordon's going to have to start next year because you lost Trevor Ariza. PJ Tucker adds another year of age. Anderson at $20 million a year is a horrible contract. The Rockets are in a little bit of trouble here, people. I think that we could see them take a pretty big step back next year. Don't be surprised if the Rockets get passed up by my Utah Jazz next season. All right, let's go to number 2. Look, I've been talking about them as the only chance that we have of seeing any team beat the Warriors next year. It is the Boston Celtics. People, the over-under for this team right now in terms of wins, at least my over-under, is 62. I think that this team is going to win so many games next season. Because, look, Gordon Hayward, he's finally going to come back healthy. Apparently, he's starting to shoot again. He's starting to do actual basketball activities. Kyrie Irving, his knee is completely fresh. No more metal in that knee. Screws are gone, plates are gone, infections gone. His knee has been completely cleared out. Al Horford on a contract season. Jason Tatum, year 2. Jaylen Brown, year 3. A fantastic bench and the second best coach in all of basketball, along with the best GM in the entire sport. This Celtics team is the only chance we have of the Warriors not winning the title next year, and I think their regular season games are going to be the best games of any matchup in the NBA next season. I can't wait to watch. And of course, at number 1, could it really have been anybody else other than the Golden State Warriors? The answer is no. It physically can't be anyone else. They are the best team in the NBA. They are your title favorite. They have the best roster in basketball. They have the best starting lineup in basketball. It's just ridiculous. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and DeMarcus Cousins. They're the number 1 team in basketball. It's just not fair. Good for you, Warriors fans. I'm sure you're happy that you have a super team. No one else is. No one else is happy about this. All right, let's recap my power rankings before we move on. Magic, Hawks, Kings, Nets, and Hornets at the bottom of the barrel. We got the Grizzlies, the Bulls, the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Suns after that. 20-16, the Mavericks, the Pistons, the Heat, the Clippers, and the Wizards. Then we got the Pelicans, the Bucks, the T-Wolves, the Pacers, and the Nuggets. Into the top 10, we got the Spurs, the Raptors, the Trailblazers, the Thunder, and the 76ers. And then my top 5 teams heading into 2019 as of right now: the Jazz, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Celtics, and the Warriors. You are watching the Cam Rogers Show here on Chat Sports. I'm Harris Rubenstein. You can follow me on Twitter at Sportstein. Happy July 4th to everyone out there. Hope you are celebrating our Independence Day with beer, hot dogs, and fireworks. It is one of the best days of the year. I know I'll be celebrating later tonight with my puppy. We're going to sit out in the park and watch fireworks together. It's going to be fantastic. All right, let's get to our last segment of the day here. Let's talk a little LeBron James. Let's quickly go through the latest on the King. Look, we talk a lot about what LeBron James' impact is on the court. We need to talk about his impact off the court. The dude is opening up a public school in Cleveland. Just an incredible, incredible show of generosity from the LeBron James Foundation to the city of Cleveland. That is how you give back to your community as a superstar athlete. Not just giving back as a foundation, not just supporting a ton of college kids from the Cleveland area. No. LeBron James is opening up a school. It's incredible. I love it when NBA players do this. We saw Jalen Rose do this in Detroit with his big-time charter school that he has. Great for LeBron James and his foundation. All right, we got another rumor here. Is LeBron James going to back out of his contract? Whoa! Sports Illustrated saying that LeBron James should back out of his contract. That's not going to happen. LeBron James is not backing out of his deal. He is going to stay on the Lakers. He signed a 4-year deal. He wants to be in Los Angeles. He's going to stay there. There's no threat. I can't believe that Sports Illustrated wrote this article. Where would he go? Philly? The 76ers don't even have enough cap space right now to sign LeBron James. LeBron is on currently a tour of Europe right now on a massive cruise. Leave the man alone. Please, let him relax. Let him enjoy his life. He's been under so much stress over the past 5 years. I think he deserves a little bit of a vacation and a little bit of a break. But a little bit of a break here in LeBron Rumors. Today's Cam Rogers Show is brought to you by Autolist. Are you looking for a used or new car? Are you tired of browsing a million sites? Head to Autolist.com or download their top-rated iPhone or Android mobile app and get the best car shopping experience you will find anywhere on the interwebs. All right, let's move on to our next rumor. Did LeBron and Dan Gilbert clash over Donald Trump? Well, we know that LeBron has been very outspoken during Trump's presidency, notably calling him a moron on Twitter a couple of times. But I think LeBron was pretty upset when Dan Gilbert donated to the Trump campaign. Again, we know how against Donald Trump LeBron James is, so it doesn't surprise me that the two of them clashed over this. It's not very surprising. I mean, they're two very different people. I've said over the past couple of years that I really don't think LeBron James and Dan Gilbert ever liked each other. I think they respected each other as business people, but I never thought that they actually liked each other as individual people. And just my hypothesis continues to get confirmed 20 times over the more and more we hear about LeBron and Dan Gilbert's relationship. But before we move on here to the next one, we want to give a big time shout out to all of our veterans from the United States military. Give me a USA in the comments if you know a former or active duty military member. Shout out to any military members that we have watching the Cam Rogers Show here today. We love you. Thank you for the service that you have for this country. We would not be where we are today without the sacrifice that you are making. Again, give me a USA in the comments for all the veterans and the active duty members that we have out there. We love you. We thank you for your service to our country. Come on, people. Where are my USAs in the comments? We have 1,600 people watching us live right now. I want 1,600 USAs in the comments for our military. All right, let's go on to our next LeBron James rumor here. That LeBron banner is coming down. The famous witness banner is unfortunately crashing. They actually had a weird issue yesterday where they had to stop in the middle due to a couple of storms. But I wonder if they ever put up anything new like that banner. I wonder what they're going to replace it with. We'll have a picture for you guys once we have a replacement for that banner. As of right now, it's simply just an empty wall. All right, let's get to our next LeBron James rumor here. Are the Lakers checking in with LeBron on every move? Well, according to Ramona Shelburne, yeah. Every single time the Lakers have made a free agency move so far, they have called LeBron to make sure that he is okay with it. And hey, if you sign LeBron James, that's what comes with the territory. So, look, you got to do it if you're the Lakers. I don't think LeBron is playing GM here. Like, I don't think he's going to outwardly be like, don't sign this guy or sign this guy. But I think it's good that the Lakers are like, hey, we're signing this guy. Is that okay with you? We'll see. I think it's fine that the Lakers are asking LeBron what is going on. But I don't know from you guys, how many titles will LeBron win with the Lakers? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is he going to win 4? 1 every single year for his contract. I think he will win at least 1, if not 2. So let me know in the comment section how many titles you think LeBron will win with the Lakers. Again, like I said, I think at least 1, maybe 2. Depending on the stars that the Lakers pick up. But that's going to do it today on the Cam Rogers Show. I hope you all enjoy your July 4th. This is a emotional July 4th for me today. My grandfather passed away yesterday at the age of 97. He was a veteran. The man gave his life for this country. He loved July 4th. This was always one of his favorite holidays. So for him to pass yesterday was an emotional time for myself and my family. However, I know that he is looking down on all of us and wishing us the best Independence Day, and for all of us to have a great rest of the summer. It is only July 4th, so we got 2 full months left of these hot days before we come back around for the start of the NBA season in October, and obviously the start of football season in September. But that's going to do it for me today. You can follow me on Twitter @SportsDean for all your NBA news and updates. But for now, we'll see you.